Well, other than our first little wobble this season so far, we're still doing really well. The injuries that we had in the last episode are clearing up nicely. We're still near the top of the table, and we're doing really well in our Champions League group. The one problem is we've got a little team to play today in the Champions League called Borussia Dortmund. Hello there and welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of Let's Go Parma. I'm Stubo. Thank you very much for joining me in today's episode where we are going to be playing, as I just mentioned, Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. And then we're either going to play Atalanta or Dynamo Kiev. The reason why I say we're going to do either is I want to see how we are doing in the Champions League group. If we look like we're more or less through in the Dortmund, after the Dortmund game, then we won't show you the Dynamo Kiev game, we'll do the Atalanta game. If we think we might be at risk of not qualifying for it, or not qualifying for the Europa League either, then we'll show the Dynamo Kiev game because that will be a really important one. But if that sounds like a plan to you, please do leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel for more future FM goodness. Since you were last with us, we have played a bunch of games. I do believe the last time you saw us, it was the Paris Saint-Germain Inter Milan games, which were crazy. Utterly crazy. Since then, only won the one game. That one game being the Udinese game, we won 1-0. We actually did get beaten by Juventus 1-0. They were the better team. Simple as that. You'd expect them to beat us. It's not like last season where we were ridiculous. This season, actually, they did put us to the sword a little bit, which was, again, to be expected. And then we had a really dramatic game against Borussia Dortmund away from home, and I'm proud of the boys even though we didn't win. Esposito and Dennis Mann getting the goals here. Lorenzo Luck had a decent game even though he didn't score. We put up a really good fight, but it just wasn't to be in the end. If we have a quick look at the breakdown of the game here, we went down really early on to a Moukoko hat-trick. That stung a bit. Got one back, conceded. Got another back, conceded. And then 2 goals in between the 70th and 80th minute gave us hope. And that last 10 minutes we were pushing. But it just wasn't to be. And I'm really proud of the boys for putting that effort in. But yeah, it is what it is. So that leaves the Champions League group, if I quickly click on it, looking like this. So after 3 games, we have a pretty decent record so far, I would say. We're looking good. We are currently second in the group. Borussia Dortmund top of the group with 7 points, yet to lose a game. We have beaten both of the other teams in our group. One of them being Paris Saint-Germain, which still blows my mind, if I'm honest with you, that we did that. Still blows my mind. And, of course, we did beat Dynamo Kiev as well. But we have the return game against Borussia Dortmund coming up, and this is the 11 that we are going to be taking to hopefully get a win. I mean, I keep saying taking. We're not going to be taking them to Borussia Dortmund. This is the home game. But this is the 11 we're hoping can get the job done. In terms of injuries, as you can see, we're looking a little bit better. We've just got Fagioli and Cataldi back out. Cataldi actually was fit again and then got injured again. So that's the reason why he's not back in the squad already. But this is the 11. Couple of concerns. Biggest concern is Sciattarella has dropped down to a 3-star player. Predominantly it's because of his physicals. They are dropping. I mean, he's 36 years old. It's happened a lot later than it probably should have done. This is probably going to be his last season. We have got him training as a coach. So yeah, we might need to do something about him in January. Maybe we try and offer him a coaching coaching role now and then get his wages off the bill. Maybe we try and do that or something like that. I don't know. One of the concerns is as well, the strikers have been a bit up and down recently. I mean, they've got a great amount of goals between them, but they have worked well together, but there have been a couple of games, in particular the game against Juventus was very concerning. Also concerning is Totino. Totino's not been the same player this year, so it is what it is. But we're going to get into the game. Parma versus Borussia Dortmund. Wish me luck. I think we might need it. Let's go. Well, I'm a bit nervous. Again, I mentioned we're in probably our worst bit of form of the season. I mean, the rest of the season has been fantastic. We have a really good run of games where we were winning before we've come to the point where we've started to lose a few games as well. That's a decent Borussia Dortmund team, I've got to say. A very decent team indeed. I will keep an eye on the Paris Saint-Germain Dynamo Kiev game if that is happening at the same time. I imagine it will be. We'll try and keep an eye on that and just see how those teams do. We would prefer Dynamo Kiev either to win or to get a draw. And straight away, Paris Saint-Germain have got ahead. So we do need to be very mindful of what that result ends up being, because that will affect us a little bit. Again, if we're being honest, if we finish third, we've done all right. Like, we I think, are more than good enough to compete in the Europa League with the players that we've got. But I think Champions League is probably a little bit ridiculous at the moment. But we have... Oh, it's an own goal from Guerrero! It's an own goal from the Guerrero, but the referee is going to be having a look at it. There must have been an offside in there somewhere. See whether Anthony Taylor will give it. He has given it. He has given it. So I wonder what the offside was for. So Reina with a misplaced pass. Maffeo just does terribly there. Luca gets the ball over to Man. I don't know where this supposed offside is that they were checking. I'm assuming it was an offside. I mean, we're not going to see it, but it is 1-0 to Parma. That is a great start. And Sebastiano Esposito's injured. Well, that's not ideal. Okay, we're going to bring Martin Raba on as attacking midfield. We're not going to bother with him as a playmaker. Let's get him on. He's a 17-year-old, but he has done well for us this season. He's not looked out of his depth. Let's see if he can do a job for us. We're already a goal ahead. And now it's down to Lorenzo Luca to lead the line on his own, which I think he's more than capable of doing. But it is certainly a big test for him in a big game against a big European team like Borussia Dortmund. This result, as it stands, puts us top, which is insane. Paris Saint-Germain, by the way, only 1-0 ahead against Dynamo Kiev. If Dynamo Kiev could get a goal and get a draw, I think that would be the best result for us to have them get a draw, because we still got to play Dynamo. I would very much like that. I mean, to be fair, I think we still got to play Paris Saint-Germain, I think, as well, for the second time. Maffeo now, into Sula. Sula, all the way out to Kobel. Kobel to Akanji. Looking to drive the ball forward here. Get it over to Bellingham. Jude Bellingham now. Out to Rafael Guerrero. Into Marco Reus, who's broken from the midfield. And Dragowski holds on to the ball. I was convinced there was going to be a goal for them there, but there is not. What a ball it is from Sciartarella, by the way. Mihaila, who has had a resurgence this season. Started off last season really well and then just kind of dropped off a cliff. Oh my word, Lorenzo Luca. What a chance that was, but he misses the ball completely. And we stay at 1-0. Yeah, Mihaila has started this season really well. I'm just hoping he's a bit more consistent this year compared to last season. Last season, he just dropped off a cliff around the halfway mark. He's got something like 4 goals, 4 assists so far, and hopefully that stays the same. Make that 5 goals and 4 assists, although the referee is going to check it. The referee is going to check it. Is it going to get given? It is not going to get given. So it is still 1-0 to Parma. Valentin Mihaila, what would have been his 5th goal of the season, has not been given. I mean, that is very harsh to me. Come on now. Come on now. That is very, very harsh to me. But referee's decision is final. That was a terrible long throw. Oble just comes out and claims it wasn't challenged by any of our players, which is disappointing. Paris Saint-Germain are 2 ahead. Worries me a little bit because we know the quality of Borussia Dortmund. We know, especially from the last game and just from real life in general, we know Borussia Dortmund are good enough to just get a few goals. Even without Erling Haaland in their team, they're just good enough to get a few goals. Sambia's in here. Sambia was just broken free. Oh, he was so greedy there. He was so greedy. He should have crossed it in the box. He knows he should have crossed it in the box. He did not cross it in the box. And it is going to be 1-0 at half time, which is a great result, don't get me wrong. But a goal disallowed, a number of really good chances, an injury to Esposito. It's certainly come at a price. Okay, here we go. Second half underway, no changes. And we'll just see whether the team that we've got on the pitch can do the job for us. Rabo has not looked out of his depth in this game, which I really, really like. I'm trying to remember whether I played him in either of the other games against Dortmund or Paris Saint-Germain. He might have appeared for a little bit, but I certainly don't think he started. But he certainly looked assured so far in this game. You watch, I've said that now. He's going to absolutely tank in the second half because I just jinx things. Of course I do. Did we say anything? I don't know whether we say anything. We are going to make a substitution now. And that substitution is going to be... Valeri's not having a terrible game. Rabo's actually... You know what? As soon as I said that, he had a 6.8 in the first half. As soon as I say he's doing all right, that happens. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm looking at Sciartarella, and I'm thinking he's going to be the one who comes off. So we're going to move these 2 rounds. We're going to take Sciartarella off for Enriquez. We're just going to change things up a little bit. We're going to have Enriquez as a box-to-box. We're going to change Monchu into a ball-winning midfielder on defend. And Rabo can play in his preferred position. Advanced playmaker. I don't know whether he prefers to be on attack or support. Prefers to be on support. I'm putting him on attack. I think he'll do a decent job there. And let's just see whether that spices things up for him a little bit. But Enriquez has played in that role as a box-to-box midfielder a couple of times off the bench for us, and he has done a good job. So I'm hoping he can do the same here. Right, final 10 minutes. What is the final change going to be? That's immediately worked. He's gone up to a 6.7. Speaking of 6.7, the only player who's on that is Valeri. He's going to come off for Cambiasso. We'll give Cambiasso a bit of game time there as well. The fullbacks have recovered recently. I've talked, I think, in the last episode or maybe the one before, both of our left backs have been rotten as hell this season. So it's nice to see them actually starting to play a little bit better. But we're getting towards the end of this game now. We might just be squeezing through with a 1-0 unless there's any late drama here. But I think we've got it through, and it is going to be 1-0 to Parma, full time. We, Parma, go top of the group. I've just read that one. Not being at our best doesn't really matter because we win the game. I tell you what, that's a good result. That's a really good result. And I think with 2 games left to go, Paris Saint-Germain could catch us. That's the only thing. So, do we? I think we have to do the Dinamo game, don't we? We have to do the Dinamo. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to play through the games that we've got to play through. So we've got to play Spa, Spezia, Paris Saint-Germain. Once we've hit that Paris Saint-Germain game, once I've played that game, we will know where we stand, whether we need to play another game or whether we don't. Depending on what the result is in that game, we'll either play Atalanta or Dinamo Kiev. We'll see what happens with that. Right, injury to Sebastiano Esposito. Okay, we're going back to our 1-striker system then. 4 to 7 weeks, that's not ideal. Mihaila is out for 8 days to 2. He gashed lower leg. Talked about this before. If I was doing PE and I had a gashed lower leg, I would still have to do cross-country. I don't understand how that gets him out of football for 2 weeks. That is ridiculous. We have got some money into the club as well. Financially, by the way, club's looking very healthy now. Very healthy indeed. Ignore the wage budget. The club's looking very healthy indeed. If we look at the projections, I mean, it's all looking very nice indeed. I'm very, very happy with how that is compared to how it was Season 1 and Season 2. We've still got the this loan, this debt that we're paying off that will end in January, and then it's just transfer debt that's left on top of that. So it's all looking nice and rosy at the moment, and long may that continue. I'm hoping that means that we get a bigger transfer budget next season. That's the hope. Whether it is what happens or not, I don't know. I would give Leo Greenwell a pat on the head. But yeah, I'm going to go and play those games, and once I've played the Paris Saint-Germain game, I'll make a decision on which game we play, whether it's Atlanta or whether it's Dinamo Kiev. See you in a moment. We are back, and we lost against Paris Saint-Germain, as you probably would expect we would. It was 1-0. It was quite a tight game. We did get an injury to Martin Rabo. He has picked up a couple of knocks, and he does have the it's not the dark orange or the red trait, but this is the dark orange trait. Fairly susceptible to injuries, which is a bit of a concern. He has, however, turned his development around, which is nice. So I'm very happy to see that. But the injuries are not piling up, but he's had a couple of them, which has been a bit of a frustration. So he's currently out at the moment. But beyond that, Sebastiano Esposito is back to full fitness as of today. We are not playing him in this game. He's probably not going to make it to the bench either because he's only just gone back to full fitness. But yeah, we're going to leave things as they are. We did play Spal and Spezia after the Dortmund game. We won both of those. Luca and Fagioli scoring in those. And then we did get a draw against Atalanta after the Paris Saint-Germain game. So this is how our group looks at the moment. As it stands, we qualify for the Champions League knockout rounds if everything stays as it is. If we, if Paris Saint-Germain lose, if we lose, stay as we are. If we draw, Paris Saint-Germain draw, stay as we are. If we win, Paris Saint-Germain win, we stay as we are. If Paris Saint-Germain win, we need to win. That is as definitive as it gets. If we don't win, and Paris Saint-Germain do win, at the very least, we're in the Europa League. Europa League will be fine for me. Absolutely fine. One piece of transfer news. Ike Benassia. I'm so glad we're getting rid of him because that name is throwing me every time. Ike Benassia. He's on his way out. He's got a few clubs that are in for him at the moment. As you can see, Almere and Watford both in £2.3 million. I would happily let him go for that considering we got him in on a free. Has barely played for us. Has been absolutely trash in the couple of appearances he has made. And also, we fell out with him a little bit. First of all, he said, can I go out on loan? We said, yep, sure. I'm in my head. I'd already written him off. So I thought, let's get him off the wage budget. And let's get him, let's get a replacement in on loan who's not going to expect to play as much as he does. And then he got sent off in the, I think it was the Atalanta game. He got sent off here. Yes, he did. Second yellow card in the 20th minute. We had a shout at him. He turned around and said he had a good game. Yeah. And I did what I've done on stream a few times before. I turned around and I said, do you think you had a good game? You can go on the transfer list. And he said, you know what? Put me on the transfer list. So, it's on the transfer list. And we might be making, well, we're definitely making a profit on him because we didn't sign him for any money. So, good riddance to you. One bit of good news as well. The board have actually, that's the wrong buttons to do. The board have actually upped the wage budget. So, we were slightly over our wage budget. We now have a good chunk of money to spend. £55,000 a week we have to spend, not including Banassa's potential wages that we might be getting off as well. It is time for the last Champions League group game match of our season, and we're going to be hoping to get a result here that will get us through to the knockout rounds. But again, we're guaranteed to be in the Europa League if not. So, this is the 11. It's Dragowski in goal, Sambia, Greenwell, Balo, Cambiasso in defence, Monchu and Cataldi in midfield with Man, Fagioli and Sarui supporting Luca up front. As I mentioned before, Sebastiano Esposito not in the starting 11, not on the bench because he's only just come back to full fitness. And I don't really know who to drop off, if I'm being honest with you, because I think they're the players I want on the bench just in case. In fact, I'm just thinking, do we put the but no, we don't. We're going to leave it as it is. Leave it as it is. No tactical fiddling. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's get to the game, and hopefully it goes our way. Let's go. It's going to be interesting to see how Danilo Cataldi does today. Look at that form for Dinamo Kiev, by the way. It's going to be interesting to see how Danilo Cataldi does, because remember, we brought him in to be a defensive midfielder when, I know we're already playing him a little bit further forward, but we are playing him in the centre of midfield. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he does today. There is the group again, and once again, things stay as they are, we will be through. The only thing that really does us in today is if we lose or if we don't equal Paris Saint-Germain's result. That is the thing. We need Dortmund, who are away from home, really, to beat PSG or to hold them to a draw, and then we need to do our bit on this end. Whether that is possible, I don't know. I mean, I think Borussia Dortmund beat Paris Saint-Germain in the opening day. In fact, they did. So it's possible that Borussia Dortmund beat them, but Paris Saint-Germain, with all of the pressure on them, will be looking to get a result. It is icy as all heck out there, and hopefully that is not going to have an impact on our play. We're in our lovely yellow away kit. Passing the ball around. Below, over to Cataldi now. Goes back to Below. Just looking to patiently build things up here, which I am definitely not against. Below now, into Cataldi. Cataldi to Monchu. Monchu looking to make something happen. Gets it to Cambiasso. What a ball that was from Monchu. The game's glitching a little bit here, which is not ideal. Cambiasso now looking to get it in. Oh, it's a spill from the keeper, but unfortunately we cannot capitalise on it. The ball is launched out and nothing else happens. Fagioli now to Sarui. Sarui looking for options. Drives into the middle. Gets it to Fagioli. Fagioli now into Dennis Mann. Dennis Mann's a little bit wide here. He goes down, and the referee, he's having a chat with the little man in his ear, and I would like to think the little man in his ear is going to go, it's a penalty, or something like that. Probably not exactly like that. All that hurt my throat. Remind me never to do that voice again. The little man in his ear says it is a penalty. Was a bit of a theatrical dive. Oh, God, that really did do no wonders for my throat whatsoever. Remind me never to do that again. It's Monchu to take the penalty now, and calm as you like, Monchu makes it 1-0. And as it stands, we are going to be going through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. Europa League? What Europa League? I mean, I was thinking to myself after the PSG game, I'm resigned to it, and it's an achievement to get to the Europa League. It is an achievement for a club like us who got promoted last season. Oh my word. As it stands, we're top of the group. I've just seen it tick over just before this highlight. As it stands, we're top of the group. How? Don't know if y'all remember my face when this group got drawn. I weren't a happy bunny. I was resigned to Europa League. I was resigned to Thursday Night Football. But as it stands, I'm assuming that's because PSG have gone in the lead. No, they have not. No, us winning this game just puts us ahead of Dortmund as well. What an insane group stage this has been. What an insane start to the season this has been. First half of the season. It's been absolutely nuts. Right. That was a very good first half. I would quite like more, please, if that's okay. Let's just say to the attack, not good enough. Let's step it up a little bit. And we'll just leave it at that. More of the same, boys, please. More of the same. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. We're top of our group. How have we done that? feel like this entire save has just been insert thing we've done here, followed by me going, how have we done that? This is very much an example of it today. Luca now looking to get the ball forward. He's looking for options. Goes out to Cambiasso, drifting back into the middle now. And it comes back to Luca. Luca, he's just trying to pass it into the net. That's the confidence of Lorenzo Luca. He thinks he can just pass the ball into the net and all will be well. Didn't exactly happen that way. I would prefer him not to do that in the future. I think Paris Saint-Germain have in fact gone ahead. And as it stands, it's Dortmund who are going out of the Champions League. They will be having Thursday night football. Felix and Valverde with 2 goals in the second half. An injury to Richards, don't know which Richards that is definitely not helping things with Dortmund. We've given a free kick to Dynamo Kiev. That's unacceptable. I mean, it's in their half, near their corner flag. That's not the point. Luizao now out to Sigankov. Sigankov? I'm going to go with Sigankov. Apologies, Sigankov, if that's not how you say it. They're passing the ball around nicely here. We're just looking to nick the ball, and Monchu does. Oh, Monchu's so good. There's a little thing in his happiness section on his profile that says he'd like to be club captain. I could see us making him the club captain once Sciattarella has either left or retired. I've missed all of my substitution stuff because I've been talking so much. I need to stop talking. Well, no, I don't, because it'd be a very boring video if I did. Right, what are we going to do substitution-wise? I think let's focus on fitness here because the job is pretty much done at this point. Is it done? I mean, it's not done though, is it? Because Paris Saint-Germain... Hang on one moment. Yeah, I got ahead of myself. It's definitely not done. I mean, PSG winning is the worst result for us because we need to win, so we do need to be careful with these substitutions. With that in mind, I'm looking at fitness, and I'm thinking to myself, if we bring off Fagioli, who's had a good game, and we're going to bring on Tino just for a bit of extra energy in that midfield just there. I'm also thinking defensively, Leo Greenwald's not had the best game, not had the worst game, so Valenti's going to come on, just so I've got a bit of extra energy in the defence as well. And then for my final trick, again, I'm focusing more on fitness here, but then I am looking at Dennis Mann and thinking to myself, maybe we bring him off and we bring on Valentin Mihaila, and then maybe we just shuffle this around a bit. So if we put Sahui in the middle, Tino goes out onto the right hand side, and we have Mihaila on the left hand side in his preferred position. I think we do that. I think they're the changes we're going to make. And let's hope that they're changes enough to get us one more goal, or at least to keep us where we currently are. That would be nice. And we are in the 90th minute, and it looks like we're going to make it through. And indeed we do. And that is ridiculous. We are into the knockout rounds of the Champions League. That is utterly baffling. I'm just going to carry on through. That is utterly baffling. What a performance. We finished top of our group. We top it ahead of Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund, who are in the Europa League. That is pretty insane. Well, we've done a bit of a thing now, haven't we? We've qualified for the first knockout round. That's insane. A bit more money in the kitty. Bit more money in the kitty. Greenwald's knackered. I mean, to be fair, I'm not surprised. In fact, you know what? Just going to give him a week off. We can afford to, I think, at this point. Let's just give him a week off. Well, that is insane. And fair play to the lads. We have done something I thought we weren't going to do. I was convinced when we were drawing our Champions League group, I looked at it and thought, Europa League. And I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly comfortable we go into the Europa League. The fact we got into the Champions League in the first place is nuts. The fact that we've got to the group stage is even more nuts. Right. We are currently in the month of December. We are going to be back around January. I am thinking, let's come back for that game there, the Italian Cup third rounds. Yeah. That's going to be the first game of the episode. Then we'll come back for one of the games here. Probably the Sassuolo game. I don't think we played Sassuolo earlier. Oh, it was the first game of the season. We did play Sassuolo, so we won't play them. We'll play Spal instead. So we'll do the game against Cagliari, and then we'll go ahead and skip a few games and go to Spal. And then if we have any interesting things happen on deadline day in January, we can show you then. But we'll do those 2 games in the next episode. Should also show you the table, really, because I haven't really touched on the league much this episode, have I? We're second. We were first, actually, and the Atalanta draw is what has cost us top spot. Those pesky Atalantians. It's probably not the name that they go by, but hey-ho. But yeah, that is the only reason we're not top. And as you can see, I mean, the fact that we're anywhere near the top of the table again is a little bit baffling to me. It is Lazio of all teams on top of the table, with Parma second, Milan third, Juventus fourth, Inter fifth, Rome all the way down in 8th, Fiorentina in 7th, Sassuolo, Napoli 11th and 12th, Atalanta in 9th. Bit of a weird table at the moment, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all, because we are very near the top of it. Only that one loss, 8 wins, 3 draws, 27 points, goal difference of plus 15. Dragowski is actually second on the clean sheet list. We haven't got anyone near the top on the goal scoring chart. Well, no, we do. Lorenzo Lucas on 7, to be fair. Lorenzo Lucas on 7. Esposito, who has had an injury, is on 5. So we've got 2 players there. In terms of assists, I think we've got a couple of players who are getting close to the top but not very near. Mahaila's there on 3. I think we've got a bunch of players who are in and around there as well. One thing I do like, Junior Sambia is one of the best players in the league. He has been a fantastic fullback for us, and I really hope teams don't come sniffing in for him. And Fiorentina have come sniffing in for him, which is really annoying. But anyway, like I said, coming to January, it'll be the Italian Cup game that we come back for. I just did the clap really early then. I don't know why. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel as well for more future FM goodness. I've been Stubo, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.